was actually part of a very large community all along this beach. The Ottawa House has never moved. It's always been in the same spot. And this is what it would have looked like. This is a really good illustration of it. This painting was done by a soldier who worked on the fort, which you can see on top of the hill there. That would have been the hill that you guys came around.
I heard that they kind of moved Parrsboro over there from here.
Yeah, essentially. Parrsboro had never been heard of. This was the main community before Parrsboro, and that's the Ottawa House in the middle there, as you can see.
Yeah, it had been added on to since then.
Yeah, it was a community solely based on the shipbuilding industry. They were very successful in that. Mid-1800s was when people started, I think, moving into Parrsboro, and it became the main town.
So it was here a long time, just as a fort.
Yeah, pretty much. The fort was torn down after the War of 1812, I believe. So yeah, and so the Ottawa House is the only remaining structure left from that original community. In 1871, Sir Charles Tupper purchased the house, and he was our 6th Prime Minister.
Wow.
So that's where we get the name the Ottawa House, because of his ties to Ottawa. He's also one of our Fathers of Confederation, so he was very proud that he helped join Canada. He was the one who convinced Nova Scotia to join Canada, so he was pretty proud. So he named this house Ottawa House by the Sea.
What year was that?
Pardon?
What year was that?
1871 was when he bought it, yeah. He used this house as a summer home for him and his family. And he did major expansion on the house. He built on the dining room that you saw to the right of, or to the left of you guys when you came in. And he hosted a lot of political parties there. So a lot of our early prime ministers probably came here and partied with him. So yeah.
That's what I was wondering, like how many famous ministers was
well, that's what I mean. Like would have had. A lot of people thought it was Laurier who owned this house, but Laurier probably was here because he was probably friends with Tupper. So yeah, actually this ram's head right here, this was given to Tupper as a gift at one of the parties at this house. And it's a joke, I don't know where it's from, but it's a joke because he was known as the Ram for his aggressive political views.
Okay,
so yeah, it was kind of a joke gift.
So is this where Tupperware was invented?
Tupper, no. I don't even know if that has anything to do with
That's
Tupper.
possible.
But anyway, yeah. He also built the wharf, which you can see under the painting right there.
Can I see the edge of it right there in that picture?
Yes, you can. I was just going to show you that because it shows it more.
So the big ships could actually come in here.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of imported stuff from New York.
Everybody came out in their Sunday plans to watch them blow off the whale.
We exported coal here and lumber. So
that's
yeah.
awesome.
It was called Tupper Snag because it was built on an angle. Don't ask me why. It was built on an angle. It caught a lot of things as the tide was going out, including the whale, which you're talking about in this picture.
Oh, is that a
Yeah, that's a whale.
Yeah, they blew it up. Mom must have told you that story, Frank.
What is it?
They blew it up. It was a whale.
Yeah, the whale died and it obviously got stuck in the wharf part of it when the tide went out and it washed ashore. And that's right in front of the house because you can see the house in the background.
Yeah. What kind of whale was it?
It was a blue whale, which I think
that's
is
the
largest in the world.
Yeah.
So,
that thing's a monster, right?
Oh yeah, and that picture was taken in 1901. Wow. So you can imagine it'd be a pretty big deal to have such a large whale on the beach then. And they didn't know what to do with it because it was stinking up the beach. So they dragged it up by tugboat and they blew it up with dynamite. After Sir Charles Tupper, the railway company purchased the house, and it was the Cumberland Railway and Coal Company, so they were like joined. And they used the house as an office building, so they kept a lot of their office files here. It was also a good spot to oversee their shipments of coal, because the train station was right in Parrsboro, and obviously we're pretty close to Parrsboro. Because back then, Nova Scotia, Spring Hill in particular, was an international exporter of coal. You guys, have you been to Spring Hill?
No. I want to take you on a tour, man.
Oh,
you
you
guys like
should.
that?
Yeah. It's so cool.
Well,
you go down like 300 feet, and they turn the lights out. It's kind of scary, but it's fun. Yeah.
You know, because Spring Hill.
Yeah.
And you get to wear the whole getup.
Spring Hill, yeah.
It's really fun if you should go. There's, they'll tell you a lot about the accidents. Like a lot of young children got into it and they died. Like there was 12-year-olds, which is kind of sad.
They died.
And there were 3 explosions, like major explosions. There was the bump, which was I think the last.
Yeah, that's what it was, a bump.
Yeah, and then there was 2 explosions earlier on before that.
My dad went to, he was in the Air Force and he went in to help for that one in the 50s, I think 56 or 7.
I think that was the bump, yeah. The president of the railway company, he loved this house so much that he also made it a summer home for him and his family. And they were the Cowans. The people in Parrsboro used to say it wasn't officially summer until the Cowans had arrived because they brought trainfuls of stuff. I mean, he was the president of the company. He was quite well off. They brought tons of stuff. It was pretty extravagant, so everyone in town knew when they were coming.
Was there any train lines into Parrsboro?
There was.
No, there was. The
Yeah,
train station.
because I was looking when I came in. And I
Yeah,
didn't see
no.
any.
Anyway, they installed the tube and knob electricity
Oh,
that runs
yeah.
all through the house that we still use today.
Oh, that's still functioning, eh?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's still in good shape. We rewired the kitchen though because we use the kitchen quite a lot, so it would be a bit of a fire hazard if we continued using that. He also installed the plumbing, and that was around 1916, so that's when this house got electricity and plumbing. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, in the 1920s, Captain Carl Merriam purchased the house, and he was the first one to keep the house as a hotel. There are 21 rooms in the house, so it's ideal. This was also during the Prohibition years in the States, so he was a rum runner. So it was said that he used this ship to smuggle liquor into the States. He also stored it in the basement of this house. He built a locked room where he could store it, and he sold some of it to his guests. He built this dance pavilion right here, which you can see in the picture. He sold
Not there now.
he sold beer outside and hard liquor inside during the dances, so quite the hot spot in the 20s.
So this was a social center.
Yeah, for sure.
Was it called Parrsboro then? When did it start being called Parrsboro?
Parrsborough, like spelt with the borough, O-R-O-U-G-H.
Used to be O-U-G-H, yeah.
That's not the town Parrsboro, that's known as like the area around Parrsboro. So this whole area was Parrsborough. Parrsboro, just O-R, that's just the town Parrsboro.
Right. Okay.
So it was always, it's more of a historical thing. No one calls it Parrsboro because we're Cumberland County now, so it's just one whole.
That predates Cumberland County.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm not sure entirely when they stopped using Parrsboro, though. Okay. This picture here was taken in 1931, and so that's what the area looked like then. That's what's left of the wharf.
Oh.
As you can see, that was where the whale was.
That is how crooked it was?
Yeah, so you can see here. That's why it was called snag.
Oh.
It was, because it caught everything.
Did the current go this way or something?
Well, no, but when the tide goes out, I mean, things are going to get caught there.
So the whale was like...
Yeah, the whale washed in there. So...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know, don't ask me why I don't know anything about wharfs and why that was like that. Maybe it was some kind of strategy. But anyway, yeah, so that was what's left of it. In 1931, it's even less now. If you're walking on the beach and it's low tide, it's like stumps you can see. That's about it. Cool. Yeah, the pavilion was torn down to do repairs on the house. These are actually the floorboards from the pavilion.
Yeah, that's cool, eh?
From the pavilion.
Yeah.
That's the pavilion.
So this was the little dance place.
What kind of wood is it?
I'm sorry. I just got here this summer. I'm still trying to learn like everything.
What kind of sign did they use to cut it?
Why did they cut it?
Yeah. This little shack here, this was the ammunition house, or the powder house.
Yeah.
From the fort.
So was the fort up top there?
It was torn down, as I said.
But it was there?
Yeah, it was on top of this hill.
Okay.
It was torn down, and after it was torn down, that was converted into a one-room schoolhouse.
Oh.
We've redone the interior of it upstairs, so you'll see what it looked like inside. But it was torn down.
Schoolhouse?
No, not here.
Oh, okay.
It was a shack that was right behind. This is the house, and that's where the schoolhouse was.
Okay.
But upstairs, we've just redone it as a display. And there's a picture of the schoolhouse. It was torn down. There's a plaque there if you guys are driving by that tells you a little bit more information. Okay? And obviously it's eroded quite a bit here. Merriam was charged for his rum running. And it was kind of ironic because Canada only had prohibition for about 5 years. He got charged the year before it went out. So if he laid low for another year, he might have been free. But he got out of it, and this is totally up to you guys to decide what you believe. He died the day before sentencing, apparently. But it was a closed casket ceremony, and some people say they thought they saw him in Boston later. So
with Elvis.
Yeah. I don't know. People come in here and they tell me he actually died. Other people come in and say like he had connections, so he probably could have gotten out pretty easy. I mean, he smuggled liquor. He can smuggle himself.
Well, that's as good a way to get out of it.
Yeah. So either way, he didn't go to jail.
It was pretty common in the old days, eh?
Pardon?
Must have been a lot of guys made their living that way.
Rum running, that is? Oh, yeah. The only reason he got charged, I mean, he wouldn't get charged for smuggling liquor to the States unless he got charged in the States. But, like I said, Canada had prohibition for about 5 years. I don't know why. Maybe we felt we should do something, but it was kind of a waste because we got rid of it after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Merriam. After Merriam, there were 3 other families that owned the house. There were the Seamans, the Wheatons, and the McKeggs. And that is Marie Wheaton. She was the daughter of the people that owned the house.
Right.
They all kept it as an inn/restaurant. So it was a hotel up until 1980. So if you guys came in the 70s, you could have eaten here or stayed at the hotel. I heard it was quite pricey though. I've asked my grandparents.
Cool though, wouldn't it? No,
Yeah, I asked my parents if they came, or my grandparents if they came here, and they said no, it was too expensive.
Yeah.
But they believe the Queen of the Netherlands, she stayed here during her time in Canada in World War II. So I think she went to Ottawa after that and had her child. Someone told me that Margaret was her first.
Is that Marie's bed?
Pardon?
Is that Marie's bed?
I don't think so. I'm sure it was donated. No, I don't think this is actually Marie's room. I think this was just like, that was probably a plaque that she had in the house. Maybe she had it in her actual room and then we just stuck it in here because this is the owner's thing.
I wish I would have kept it and restored it.
What is it?
Just the bed.
Oh, yeah.
Found one in the dump and brought it home and just let it rust away.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Is that a picture of the house there with
No,
portraits?
that's a picture. It has nothing to do with the Ottawa House. It's a picture of one of the Broderick hotels.
Right.
Have you guys heard of them? There's one in Five Islands,
Is
but
there?
it's not, obviously not that big. It's actually across from where I live. I live in Five Islands, and I live down Broderick Lane. And yeah, I guess there was a line of Broderick hotels, and that was one of them, a very large one. Yeah. So anyway, sorry. In 1980, the province bought the house, and so we're government owned now, and the Parrsborough Shore Historical Society has been running it as a museum ever since.
That's cool.
Okay, so that's our history.